ओके हुजूर, बड़े दिनों बाद ईट स्लीप ड्रिंक क्रिकेट में आप सबका स्वागत है। सब अपने अपने लाइफ में मतलब मशरूफ हैं। भास्कर दुनिया का इंडिया का दौर करके आ चुके हैं। अमित दोनों दुनिया और इंडिया का दौर करके आ चुके हैं। हमारे अदर पार्टनर अभिजीत वर्ल्ड कहीं का है, खजाकिस्तान खजाकिस्तान
कजक
अल्मा।
कजाकिस्तान।
हाँ, आज के डेट पे ये सब बोलना भी ठीक नहीं है। वैसे हम भी अपना घूमना घामना करके आ चुके हैं और जा रहे हैं वापस, तो चलता ही रहेगा। सो बहुत बहुत स्वागत आपका भास्कर अमित, आप दोनों का बहुत बहुत स्वागत। बड़ा अच्छा लगा आप लोगों से
थैंक
मिलके।
यू।
एंड इंडियन क्रिकेट फाइनली एक पड़ाव में आ चुका। तो एक तीन चार चीजें हो चुका है। सो जस्ट टू लिस्ट आउट व्हाट हैज हैपेंड आफ्टर द चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी विन। मतलब आईपीएल स्टार्ट हो गया एंड एवरीथिंग वेंट इन विच एवर वे इट हैड टू बी। बट इंडियन क्रिकेट पे एक नजर था। एंड देन द अनफॉर्चुनेट इंसिडेंट विच हैपेंड इन पहलगाम। एंड
ओके, ट्रू।
आवर जो विक्टिम्स हैं उनके साथ तो हमारा our support and strength to all of them. And then the approach taken by our government was absolutely necessary, I think. But that's not the
एब्सोल्युटली
reason why we are here. But what has happened is it pushed IPL a bit, and then there was some more things which were happening. And that बीच में जो पीरियड था उसमें काफी कुछ चल पड़ा। एंड वन ऑफ द थिंग्स वाज इंडियन क्रिकेट कहाँ जाएगा करके। सो हमारे दो दिग्गज रोहित शर्मा और विराट कोहली दोनों ने रिटायरमेंट की बोल दिया है, अनाउंस कर दिया है। सो विल टॉक अबाउट इट। एंड देन द इंडियन, सो इट इमीडिएटली मेंट दैट इंग्लैंड के लिए हमें एक नया कप्तान और एक न्यू लुक टीम की जरूरत पड़ गई। सो वी हैड
ट्रू।
which was declared yesterday, and we will talk about the team also. And also, we have to see ki whether this team is good enough to carry on. What are the few things which can come? कैसा आगे क्या फ्यूचर दिखता है हमको, हम वो भी डिस्कस करेंगे। सो आई एम गोइंग टू स्टार्ट विथ यू अमित, एंड देयर इज अ रीजन व्हाई आई एम स्टार्टिंग विथ यू बिकॉज the retirement news which came across, right, for both Rohit and Virat was a bit, मतलब ये थोड़ा सा रोहित आई थिंक was more or less on expected lines. More many of us were like ठीक है रिटायर हो जाए टेस्ट से तो अच्छी बात है, कौन सा यहाँ पे हो गया करके। बट बिकॉज द कैप्टेंसी was not decided and all, we were like maybe Rohit continues for a couple of series and all this. Virat was a big surprise for everybody. So the retirement for Rohit तो थोड़ा सा मतलब it looks to be very straightforward, but विराट का straightforward नहीं है। इट इज लॉट ऑफ ऑफलाइन न्यूज। तो आप अपने हाथ जो आपने मुंबई के और पुणे के महाराष्ट्र जो न्यूज बेल्ट है वहां पे आपने अंदर अंदर डाला होगा, उससे जरा खबरें उठा के ऐसे नोश फरमाएं। ओवर टू यू कि क्या
नो,
ये रिटायरमेंट। लेट्स गो वन बाय वन, लेट्स टॉक अबाउट विराट एंड देन विल गो टू रोहित।
या सो यू आर राइट। आई थिंक जो जो मेरे पास जो इन्फॉर्मेशन है, आई शेयर विथ यू, बट यू आर एब्सोल्युटली राइट। आई थिंक रोहित्स डिसीजन वाज क्वाइट स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड। देयर वाज नॉट टू मच टू रीड इनटू इट, एंड आई थिंक it was a right call according to me, looking at what happened in Australia and way that he was going around. But Virat's was not. Now the inside news is that Virat's conversation with the committee had actually gone to a situation where the the selection committee was not willing to promise Virat a full tour, and Virat was very keen. In fact, the news was that Virat was actually okay to treat this as his last tour, given the situation was, and also given his fitness, etc. Although he still seems to be very fit to go on for a few more years, but I think he had made up his mind in a way that this probably was going to be his last tour, from what the inside information was, and hence his approach was very clear that he was wanting to be a part of all the matches, which he felt that he could be. But that was an assurance that he was not getting from the board. And the kind of stature that he carries and the legacy that he has had, he was very clear that it's either this or that, because he probably now is at a juncture when he can do this as compared to many other cricketers who can't. I mean, if X person is told that, okay, you get 3 matches, we can't promise, he still plays. But Virat is probably at a juncture when, he could take this call. And I think he decided to go the other way around, which was a surprise. But knowing Virat and knowing, the clear mind that he's always carried, I personally respect his decision. Because if We have had some instances in the past where some of our great players haven't got the right kind of farewell, and we have had that discussion in the past also that that is not correct. I think Virat probably chose to kind of take this route. So this is the inside information, and this is the reality that those were the kind of discussions that actually took place with him. Over to you, Rajiv.
Okay. So what the news I got is that what happened is that Rohit the so let's थोड़ा सा ना time को थोड़ा पीछे करते हैं, and which is something which we all spoke about. A 3-0 whitewash in home series is something a rarity, right? And something which happens in India, obviously heads had to roll. But suddenly BGT का second test के बाद ही या second test से one day खत्म होने के एक दिन पहले ही they had to announce and all. So ये जो 3-0 वाला है इस कमिटी ने बैठा but they could not decide on something. They could not discuss few things. And Gotham was relatively new, so ज़्यादा बात नहीं हो पाया. And Mumbai test which India should have won, they lost that also. 2-1 हो जाएगा सबको लग रहा था. With the way they got a lead in the first inning, so हो जाएगा करके लगा. बट ऐसा नहीं हुआ, इंडिया हार गया वो मैच, तो 3-0 भी हो गया. इमीडिएटली दे वेंट ऑन फॉर बीजीटी. इस टूर में क्या होता है कि रोहित शर्मा बिकॉज ही केम फ्रॉम हिज पैटर्निटी लीव जो हॉलीडे लिया, एंड देन ही रशेस हिमसेल्फ फॉर द सेकंड टेस्ट, एंड देन बिकॉज ही रशेस हिमसेल्फ the longevity of non-performance looks a bigger one. And then came the Melbourne test, which again India could have won, but because there was only one bowler, Bumrah, who had to bowl India on, plus beach mein Ashwin ka chale jana, so things were just murky. There was this discussion which happened that Virat, what I think Rohit may not play the series in England, he may be dropped or whatever it is. So better you be prepared for becoming a captain. Things again change when everybody goes to Champions Trophy and everything, it all flowers well and everything goes well. And suddenly they are informed कि भाई तू अगर एक टूर खेलेगा तो नहीं हो सकता आपका, यहाँ पे चांस बनता नहीं है आपका. आप बस एक रेगुलर प्लेयर की तरह खेलेंगे करके विराट को बुलाया था. विराट वॉज ओके विद द कैप्टनसी थिंग ऑल्सो कि आई टेक इट एज अ कैप्टनसी, आई डू 10 टेस्ट एंड देन हैंड इट ओवर टू द वाइस कैप्टन whom you choose, because there's a 5 test series and then there are 2 or 3 home series, so हो जाएगा. एंड देन उसी होम सीरीज में बाय बाय भी हो जाएगा विराट कोहली का करके. बट दैट प्लान डिड नॉट वर्क आउट बिकॉज बीजीटी भी बुरी तरह हारे, एंड बीजीटी में विराट कोहली का परफॉर्मेंस काफी बुरा रहा. ही वाज जस्ट गोइंग ऑन एंड ट्राइंग टू टच द बॉल. यहाँ पे लोगों ने ये भी, अब वो पीआर है कैसा है मुझे नहीं पता, बट रोहित शर्मा ने अपने आप को लास्ट टेस्ट में ड्रॉप भी कर लिया खुद को, राइट. सो सेल्फलेस है ये सब जो कहानियां वो था, तो रोहित का अलग हो गया. So this probably led to Virat Kohli's decision कि यहाँ पे things are not in the right frame of mind. I've done enough for my country, my team, so I deserve a self-respect. नहीं होता कोई बात नहीं, I'll just move on. And that's how the retirement came off. This is my version. रोहित शर्मा का बहुत आसान है. वो तो छोड़ना ही चाहता था. Everybody, he was not interested in continuing with test. But if he had to elongate his ODI thing, टेस्ट में रुकना उसके लिए जरूरी था. बट उसने भी यही शर्त रखा जैसे बुमराह ने कि मैं सिर्फ 3 ही टेस्ट खेलूंगा, बाकी 2 किसी और से करा लो. या ये कह रहा था कि मैं 2 टेस्ट मैच खेल लेता हूँ, बुमराह से 3 टेस्ट मैच जस्ट कैप्टन कर लो. सो दिस वाज नॉट एक्सेप्टेबल टू द सिलेक्शन कमिटी. तो रोहित ने बोला छोड़ो यार, मैं वैसे भी आई वांटेड टू गेट ऑफ, सो वो भी निकल गया. दिस इज व्हाट हैज हैपेंड. इसी अश्विन ऑल्सो ड्रॉप्ड हिमसेल्फ फॉर द सेम रीजन, वो भी रिटायर बीच में ऐसे ही हुआ. बट कि ये कह के कि अगर आप मेलबर्न में भी मुझे पिक नहीं कर रहे हो तो मेरा खेलने का मतलब नहीं बनता करके. नाउ वन थिंग which is all these things was BGT had a lot of offline issues which came off. जैसे बहुत सारा बैगेज लेके जाना, ये सब बहुत कुछ हुआ. अश्विन मिड टूर चला गया. दे डोंट वांट एनीथिंग एल्स टू बी डन, एंड दे आल्सो रेस्पेक्टेड व्हाट बुमराह सेड, राइट, कि वो 3 ही टेस्ट मैच खेल पाएगा इंग्लैंड, एंड विल कम टू दैट पॉइंट आल्सो. So that's why Rohit and Virat had to quit. But Rohit he had a far more better way handled and than Virat, unfortunately. तो जो भी है. So भास्कर, मैं आपके पास आता हूँ. A man who मतलब 10,000 रन, क्या वो तो मतलब सचिन के इस तक पहुंचेगा, 50 सेंचुरी शायद वहां तक भी पहुंच जाए, ये सब बात हो रहा था. वो 9,200 रन में एक 46 के एवरेज में चले जा रहा है. तो so, you know what? 10 years from now, nobody will look at Virat Kohli as the greatest test player, but we all know what is his contribution to test, right? So, how do you see that retirement coming off?
Rohit's retirement was expected, as you said, and even if he had not retired, I think he should have been dropped. He was told that if you want, he can go as a player to England and play the first two tests, and then he will be looked at. Virat का वो case नहीं है. Virat, even if he had been dropped, he could have always gone back to domestic cricket and tried to fight his way back. That's what Saurav Ganguly did. And Virat being in the same league, we always thought that he's in the same league as the trio, the famed big three of Indian batsmanship. That's in chronological order is Sunil Gavaskar, Sachin Tendulkar, and Rahul Dravid. The three players who have scored more than 30 Test centuries, more than 10,000 runs, averaging more than 50. We were expecting something. If not reach Sachin, I thought we all thought that Virat would at least go till say Rahul Dravid's and Ricky Ponting's and Callis, all three 13,000, and we've seen Joe Root reach 13,000. That's the sad part. Virat Kohli giving up on Test cricket so early. In fact, a few years back, we thought that how to elongate Virat Kohli's career. Maybe he can play on till the age of 42. How he can save himself for Test cricket. So this was an absolute shocker, I would say, as far as Virat, because he always said, even before when he made his Test debut, he said that his target is to take his Test average above 50 and keep it there. When you do that, you always do good for your team. Like somebody, it's not like you're playing for your average. That doesn't. It's not like one day cricket where, or limited overs cricket where playing for your average is detrimental to your team. In Test cricket, if you score runs, it's always beneficial to your team. So I think that's where Virat Kohli's retirement was a big shocker. And same I would say for Ravichandran Ashwin. I thought he would probably wait till the home season and maybe you would want to, like we saw with Anil Kumble and Sachin Tendulkar. They kept coming back every time we thought they have finished. Even Rahul Dravid, they kept coming back, and their main aim was to do brilliantly well in Test cricket. So I think that's where Virat Kohli's retirement is a big shocker. I think only three players have retired with more than 9,000 runs and less than 10,000 runs. The other two players ahead of him are Graham Smith and Hashim Amla. So if you see Virat Kohli's records and averages are very, very close to what Hashim Amla had achieved. A world-class player, Hashim Amla also, but not really up there with the greatest of all times like Jack Callis, Ricky Ponting, Rahul Dravid, Brian Lara, Kumar Sangakkara. I'm not even talking about Sachin Tendulkar. So it's that's a bit disappointing. Lesser runs than Yunis Khan, Mahela Jayawardene, and Shivnarayan Chanderpaul. That was really not expected. Rajiv.
Right. So Amit, आपने हाथ भी raise किया. So I'll come to you. You add on the point.
No,
And also
I
talk
was just,
about Rohit's thing departure
yeah,
also.
I was
I have
just,
the story.
no, I
आप भी
was just
बताएं.
adding, no. So Rohit's story, I think you go ahead. I just wanted to add that point what both you and Bhaskar made. The information that I had was also in line with a similar thing that happened to Ashwin. The Indian committee was also concerned that if Virat does not get that confirmation, at least that's what my sources say, and if something similar to this happens for the second time, where I would consider Ashwin a great player, so similar great player doing something midway would have been a major jolt to the BCCI. And Virat at this juncture was quite capable of doing that if he had not got that assurance. So I think that has also played on one of the reasons of they giving him a clear signal. Over to you, Rajiv.
Yes, you're right. So there is a problem कि अगर वो बोलते हैं कि let's say third test तक Virat doesn't score or something, whatever happens. Though I think he would have done well. But anyways, so वो let's say ऐसे third test के बाद मैं retire हो रहा हूँ. रोहित बोलता है मैं थर्ड टेस्ट के बाद खेलूंगा नहीं. बुमराह अवेलेबल नहीं है. आप मतलब दिस कैन गेट वेरी सिक्वेंशियल एंड रियली मेक अ बिग डिफरेंस. अब इसमें वीसी एक लेके आ रहे हैं आप. सो आई थिंक बीसीसीआई टुक द राइट डिसीजन बाय इन्फॉर्मिंग द प्लेयर्स, बिकॉज प्लेयर सिस्टम से बड़ा नहीं होता, क्रिकेट से बड़ा नहीं होता. आई अंडरस्टैंड एंड आई रिस्पेक्ट फॉर व्हाट विराट कोहली स्टैंड्स फॉर एंड देयर इज अ सेल्फ रिस्पेक्ट. ही वाज कंटिन्यूइंग, बट हुआ ये वो 3-0 और बीजीटी एक साथ कितना फेलियर्स हुआ विराट कोहली का. अगर आप देखें भी तो आई डोंट वांट टू बी बिटर ऑन विराट, बट अगर आप देखें तो लास्ट 5 years में उसका एवरेज को 30 है. सो इज केएल राहुल, सो इज अदर प्लेयर्स. शुभमन गिल का भी उतना ही एवरेज है.
Exactly.
तो फिर तो मतलब विराट को क्यों उतना ये ग्रैंड, द नंबर ऑफ टेस्ट प्लेड इज अराउंड 30. सो उसमें एक्चुअली द लास्ट 5 years में सबसे बेस्ट प्लेयर रोहित शर्मा है. रोहित शर्मा का लास्ट 10 टेस्ट बहुत ही बुरा गया है, बट उससे पहले अच्छा ही खेल रहा था वो. राइट. सो you can't give favoritism here. so they had to come to a decision, and that's where I'm coming. So first I'll go to you, Bhaskar, and then I'll go to Amit. कि शुभमन गिल को इन्होंने कैप्टन बनाया है. Now the other choices was Bumrah, I think was the top decision, but the moment he said मैं 3 टेस्ट के ऊपर नहीं खेल पाऊंगा, तो चैप्टर क्लोज था वहीं, चैप्टर वहीं क्लोज हो गया. And then second was Rishabh Pant, and then an outside chance for KL Rahul. But they went ahead with Shubman Gill. So what is your take? How do you see it?
See. I think it should have been just between the two because Jasprit Bumrah, of course, again they come back home season. He will not play all tests. I think we need to preserve him. So I think Jasprit Bumrah was out of the question. So it all had to come down between Shubman Gill and Rishabh Pant. Rishabh Pant actually is the only player apart from Jasprit Bumrah who walks into every test team, every match. Even Shubman Gill was dropped for a test match in the BGT not very long back, if you remember. He didn't play the Brisbane test, right? Or Melbourne. I'm not too sure which test he missed.
He didn't play Gabba.
He didn't play Gabba. So he was dropped for a test match. So I think Pant probably would have been the ideal choice, but there are a lot of feedbacks regarding Shubman Gill's captaincy. Ashish Nehra has been giving inputs to Gautam Gambhir, and a lot of people are watching his captaincy, and people are saying he's really coming out of age, and he's really showing a lot of maturity the way he's leading his IPL franchise, that's Gujarat Titans. So I think he being the only player who's though his average is not really good, but it's not that bad as well because it's 35 and it's not too much into his career. So though he has failed overseas a lot, but he did play a few good knocks against New Zealand and India. And he played a brilliant knock against England in India. So he's been doing reasonably well in India. So I think it's the right choice. No two ways about it. KL Rahul, I think he should be left alone. In my opinion, he should be given a middle order spot and said, this is going to be a slot for the next 2 years, come what may. We'll give you a middle order slot for the next 2 years. You've been wanting to play in the middle order. We're not going to push you to open every time an opener is missing. And then after 10 tests, we'll take a call. So I think it's the right way to think. And I think it's the right way forward. Rajiv.
Right. Amit, आपसे भी same question पूछूंगा. I think बहुत ही अच्छा sum up किया आपने, भास्कर. बहुत सही बोला आपने.
Thank you.
So Rajiv, I kind of feel that. So I have my opinion is that while T20 should not be taken as a yardstick for performances as far as batting, fielding, or bowling is concerned, but I definitely draw a lot of inspiration in terms of the overall captaincy culture that somebody brings. Whether it is T20 or one day or a test, it does not matter. And that is why, on those lines, I believe that after Bumrah, kind of said no, I still believe, and maybe that's where the difference of opinion might be, that the choice, if the choice was Bumrah, it was a direct choice. There was no doubt about it. It had to be Bumrah. But if it is between Pant and Gill, I believe that it's the right choice of making Gill the captain, because I think one good thing about him is that he's leading from the front, and the teams draw a lot of confidence when your captain is leading from the front. And I think he has shown that. I know he's probably averages below Pant as far as the test matches are concerned, but I think his overall approach to the game, his strategy, the way he handles senior players on the field, there is a little bit of more maturity that you see in this individual than Pant if you have to handle senior players vis-a-vis likewise apples to apples. And that is why for me he becomes the right choice. And you are right. I mean, once Bumrah said that he cannot go beyond 3, it's a right call to take. We got to preserve Bumrah. We made a mistake and a blunder with him once. Luckily, that we did not have to pay dearly because of his absence in the Champions Trophy. But we don't want to make the same mistake again. So that's a right choice. And I think the decision has been absolutely fair as far as Gill is concerned. Over to you, Raj.
Yeah, I think so. And with Shubman, so the moment Bumrah was out, I think there was no other alternative. Honestly, if we say we do not even have a choice also. Pant's recklessness for the last few matches, Test, ODI, even T20 World Cup also, they took him above Samson, putting everything. So, but he did not repay that. And now Pant's white ball career looks to be very, very bleak. Abhi ke liye to. He can come back, he's young, but as of now it doesn't look in a really good position. Now, what KL Rahul was also suggested by not taking in Delhi's captaincy. He said, "मुझे बस batting करना है, मुझे और किसी पछड़े में नहीं पड़ना है." He's been very clear. So KL Rahul is also out of the way. If he had performed very well in 21-22, naturally the captaincy could have come, including when Virat said no, he could have become a natural test captain also. But he, at that time, things were not going good. It's just after 23 World Cup he's picked up. So there were couple of other candidates like KL Rahul was there. Shreyas Iyer was also a very, very good probability, but Shreyas Iyer was not playing red ball cricket, so there is an issue there. So I think the right decision has been taken, and even if it looks like England tour is not the only barometer where Gill is going to be judged on. So it is something for Gautam and his whole support staff to ensure something good is done there. But what is going to happen is most after England, there are a streak of home series which is going to happen. Home series, we should be able to make up with all the resources which we have. I think if we don't make the same mistake of putting digging holes in all the pitches, then we should win it very comfortably. And Gill would then have something to build on and he can go on. So good decision. And I hope that's how it is. I mean, if your senior players leave, you have somebody else to take over the team, right? So next question for all of you is the one very good thing, and I'm very happy they picked up an 18-member team because it's a 5 test. You don't want to have that. One thing I was very hopeful. I was thinking that Shami would still be considered, but I think Shami ka bhi wahi hai. He's also a 2 or 3 test match bowler, and that was a very big problem for BCCI. So Shami got cut there itself. His performances, anyways, was not at the top. So when he's already lingering, his performance is lingering, fitness is lingering, Shami was never going to be considered. But a good team has been constructed. A couple of names can be, considered. It always happens because that's the Indian team, right? But I want to, Bhaskar, I'm coming to you since you raised the hand. So you give an opinion about the team which is being selected, and also what is the 11 which you would like to, the first test 11 which you would like to see.
See, coming back on Shami, I was listening to Ajit Agarkar during the press conference. He did make a point that last 1 week they were hoping that he will be fit, but the last 1 week he's had some MRIs done, so they were not sure about his fitness for the series. So just last 1 week apparently have not been very good for Shami, and there have been a few injury concerns. Even the physios have said that please don't consider him for the moment. So that was another reason why Shami is not considered. He's not exactly been dropped as such. So I think the team is a wonderful team, except for two people who can feel a bit shortchanged is Sarfraz Khan and Harshit Rana. They've been dropped for apparently no mistake of theirs. So Sarfraz scored a century just 2 matches in the first test, and after that he has just played 2 tests against New Zealand. And in Australia, he didn't play a single series. Harshit Rana was looking like the number one third pacer. No, he was supposed to be after Bumrah and Siraj. He was considered as the number one choice among the options for third pacer. So he can also feel a bit let down. But they wanted a left armer, and since Arshdeep has played county cricket and he's swinging the ball, I think that's why they left out Harshit Rana and Sarfraz Khan. But they don't need to really get disheartened. They are on the India A side, and they perform well. I'm sure there might be chances coming up during the series where they can come. So as long as they are in the India A side, nobody really needs to feel let down. I think I don't know what they're going to think and whether they're going to open with KL Rahul or they're going to play him in the middle order. But my choice would be to open with Abhimanyu Ishwaran and Sai Sudarshan. Go for a brand new opening pair. I'm not too sure whether Gill wants to bat at 4 or 3, but I would put Gill at 3, then KL Rahul at 4, then Rishabh Pant. He's been batting at 5. He's the only one who's averaged more than 40 over the last 5
You're
years.
missing
So Rishabh
Jaiswal.
Pant. Oh, sorry. How could I forget Jaiswal? So probably I'll open with first test. I would open with Jaiswal and Abhimanyu Ishwaran. Sorry, Sai Sudarshan probably can wait for a couple of tests. So Gill at number 3, KL Rahul at number 4, Rishabh Pant at 5, Karun Nair at 6. So I think this will be the 6 players, which also has a wicket keeper. So now we have 5 full bowlers. So of course we have Ravindra Jadeja playing at 7 because we need his experience. He's one player who scored 2 centuries in England. He scored a century in a World Test Championship final. He scored a century against England. So Jadeja at 7. And then I'll probably pick Shardul Thakur at 8. And then we have a three paces, that is Bumrah, Mohammad Siraj, and probably I'll go with Arshdeep Singh, because they're saying he's played county cricket in swinging the ball. So probably a left arm option. So probably Nitish Reddy has to sit out, but that might be hard on him. But that's what my team would be. Sai Sudarshan and Nitish Reddy don't make it to the 11. I just sorry to forget about Jaiswal. So Jaiswal is probably the best batsman in the team right now. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Amit, sir.
Yeah, so I kind of feel that as far as the total team selection is concerned, of course, the team that we are taking, that's definitely, if you stick around the right 11, you have a very good chance, kind of to do well in England. Although I would probably hold my horses in trying to right now say whether they can actually make that positive impact. There might not be, but I would probably still take this as a more of a learning, because this is a team for the future. So I wouldn't be too surprised if we end up losing also. But as long as we get what we have selected the team for, I think I'll still be taking back a lot of positives from here. That's my final assessment as far as the performance is concerned. In terms of selection, I don't want to mince my words by saying, but Sarfaraz's exclusion has been a complete blunder as far as I am concerned. I don't see enough reasons at all, because when I look at Ajit Agarkar's submission, he says his recent form is not good. He just hit a double century against in a domestic circuit, and his overall, and he's a very gritty performer. So I think you need that kind of a guy, given that your batting prowess has gone down with both Rohit and Virat not being there. You needed somebody like him in the to hold the fort together. So that's been a blunder to me. While I love Shardul Thakur, but I don't see why he's there and what he's going to do. You look at his batting average, nowhere close to what you would expect. It's in the 20s, and that his average number of wickets, if I am not wrong, is not more than 2.5 to 3 test matches put together. So I don't even see him getting a start. I would rather have put a more a fast bowler who could have been kind of used well in the England conditions, because you are going to get that in England. So that to me are two little bit of a little question mark. But I think overall, as far as Karun's selection is concerned, Abhimanyu Iswaran, I think these are good selections. Mohammad Shami missing out makes a lot of sense to me. I kind of feel that he needs more time. I don't know whether he's been dropped or kind of he's taken a rest, but I would have probably I've been happy not to see him in the squad at this point in time, given his fitness, etc. If Ishwaran gets a chance, he obviously opens along with Jaiswal, but otherwise I still see, if that not happening, Shubman Gill opening with Jaiswal. That can happen. I don't know. That we'll get to see. But I think I definitely see Karun in the starting lineup. I agree with Bhaskar. Jadeja needs to be there, because given that experience and the need for someone to hold, he needs to be in for sure. And of course, I think Arshdeep needs to get his due. I think the guy has been knocking on the door for a while, and I think he deserves a chance. I think England might be a good place for him getting a chance, because the ball will seam, early morning advantage will be there, and I think he's a kind of a guy who exploits conditions well. So that to me looks like more of the kind of playing team that I see going in England. Over to you, Rajiv.
Yeah. So I want to give few things here. So one of the thing is Gill probably would like to go to 4. So there is a big discussion whether he'll play at 4. If Gill plays at 4, KL Rahul goes at 5. If KL Rahul goes at 5, it means Karun Nair doesn't come into the 11. Karun Nair playing at 3 is, I don't think Syed Sudarshan may make it. So I don't know how the team selection would come. We'll come to know probably once the England tour comes in, and then you have the Morne Mockles and all. They have their own way of saying which is the 11 which is coming. Now let's come to a few players who did not get picked. So Harshit Rana was a obvious choice for Sydney Test, but he did not play because his fitness to bowl so many overs was not there. That's why they picked him in Champions Trophy, because they know the 10 overs he can do, but that was not there. And when Prasidh Krishna bowled so well in Sydney, there was no, because the outside swing, which he natural swing, and you've seen how one good match makes a confident. This Prasidh Krishna was staying for so many runs, and we'll come to his performance in IPL in some time. He's a standout bowler now. So, so he's going to do very, very well. I think Prasidh Krishna will play the test. I don't see Arshdeep making the 11 in the first test match. Now, Arshdeep, I'll tell you a problem. He's played in Kent. They wanted a left armer. Everything is fine. But they're going to make him practice so that he plays when Bumrah is not going to be there. And so that's the plan for them. Arshdeep has an issue with regards to something called as heart rate. So there is a certain heart rate only which he can maintain, which means that he's not getting to the 20 over mark. That's the reason why BGT he was not selected. And that was the reason why Shami was never getting selected to get there to BGT, though he was flown at some point, but bowling nahi ho pa raha those, right? So these are there is some fitness into getting to 20 overs, but I think if Arshdeep is able to make, they should find a way to play Arshdeep simply because that left-hander, and he's a guy who can swing both balls both ways. We saw what he did in South Africa in an ODI match. He's a star, so he is knocking. I understand, but fitness का एक problem है. पता नहीं how they're going to treat Arshdeep. Now the other thing is, I agree. Jaiswal and Ishwaran बेचारा बड़े दिनों से wait कर रहा है. I think he deserves a chance there. So they should open. And Gill should be at 3. This is my thought. Gill should be 3 and Karun goes at 6. Now it's a walk-in. Now Nitish and Shardul are at same thing. The whole point is who will bowl. If Nitish is going to bowl 10 to 12 overs, he plays. If he can't, then Shardul plays. That's how it is. Because the first match, they want to also ensure that the bowling is enough to take 20 wickets. They are scared also that somebody may break down or anything. So let's see how it goes. I mean, it's too early to talk about it, but I agree that the team is good. But how well it can come together and perform, we have to see. And Rishabh Pant, for all his good talent and all, he has to throw away his recklessness and all. I mean, that famous commentary from Sunil Gavaskar on stupid, 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 it still lingers on. He did a very big mistake in that Melbourne test. BGT was still in hands if he had played properly there. But anyways, that's how it goes. History is history, right? Now to the last topic of the day. We have 5 minutes, so we need to be a bit quick. One of the comments I had made in WhatsApp was that, when I don't see Rohit and Virat playing till 27 World Cup, though they have enough motivation, they want to do well and all. But when you play the least played format among the three, you need to have one more. अगर आप टेस्ट ओडीआई खेल रहे हो या ओडीआई एंड टी20 खेल रहे हो तो कॉम्बिनेशन सही बैठता है, या सिर्फ टेस्ट भी खेल रहे हो तो चलेगा बिकॉज डोमेस्टिक खेलते रहोगे आप. ओडीआई एक बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है, ओनली प्लेइंग ओडीआई, सो 2 साल टिक पाना. इनफैक्ट आई थिंक रोहित, बिकॉज ही प्लेड दैट 76 एंड वन द मैच इन द फाइनल अगेंस्ट न्यूजीलैंड, अगर वो नहीं खेलता उस दिन तो उसके चांसेस पूरा रिटायरमेंट का ही था मेरे हिसाब से. So Bhaskar, what do you say? Will he last?
See, I think they're still going to be playing. They're going to be playing franchise cricket. IPL they're going to be playing. So I don't think it's like T20 internationals nahi khel rahe hain, but they're still playing IPL. They're going to be playing next year's IPL. So I think, and Virat Kohli, I think he's still the best ODI batsman in the world. There's no doubt about it. The way he played against Pakistan, the way he played against Australia, I think he just walks in. So I think Rohit fitness, by the time he'll also be 40. So, but the thing is, he's going to be the captain. So Virat, I think, should last. I think there's no reason why he shouldn't last. If he says I'm going to play, he has to be picked. There's no way he's going to be dropped because he's performing. He was the top scorer in the 2023 World Cup. He played brilliantly in the T20 World Cup final. He played brilliantly in the Champions Trophy. So I think every ICC tournament he's excelling. Except for the initial part of the T20 World Cup, he's been doing brilliantly well. So I think there's no reason for Virat not playing the 27 World Cup. Rohit, of course, fitness, how he maintains his fitness is going to be an issue, and how he maintains his IPL form also will, I think it will come into play. But I think I have got no doubt that Virat would play the 27 World Cup. Rajiv.
Amit sir, I am coming to you.
I don't see any one of them playing the 2027 World Cup. Rohit's writing is already on the wall. And with this selection committee and the way things are going on, I don't see Virat in the discussion. Somewhere I see a fallout very clearly. There are very strong. How much ever we try to keep denying it, the rift is very clear, and he's not really getting along and getting the right support from the existing set of people. Unless that changes, then I probably see Virat getting a chance at 2027. But with the existing situation, I see both of them gone for 2027. That's it.
I agree with you. I think Rohit will fade off because of his fitness issues. नहीं होगा उससे. We saw what he did, right? The ball tried to spin a bit. Mitchell Santner को बाहर आके कुछ तो मारने की कोशिश कर रहा था. 76 was brilliant, but he put the team into a big spot there. Thankfully, Shreyas Iyer, Akshar, and KL Rahul bailed us out, and we won the final, which looked very simple. It's not as simple as what we say, right? The second thing is 27 वर्ल्ड कप तक रोहित कैप्टन बने रहना चाहता है, अच्छी बात है, बट इमेजिन ना, यू आर गोइंग टू प्ले अराउंड 20 ऑड ओडीआई स्टिल वर्ल्ड कप. उस 20 ओडीआई में आपके 10 ओडीआई ऐसे होंगे जिसमें आपके टॉप स्टार्स ही नहीं रहेंगे. गिल बोलेगा मैं टेस्ट मैच खेल के थक गया हूँ, बुमराह बोलेगा मैं नहीं खेल रहा. तो आपकी आधी टीम जो वर्ल्ड कप के लिए खेलना चाहेगा, वो आधी टीम खेलेगा ही नहीं. ये वहां पे, यहाँ पे कोई और ही खेल रहा होगा, यहाँ पे गायकवाड़ खेल रहा होगा, शिवम दुबे 2 मैच खेल रहा होगा. So those are the kind of players who will be fitting in, and these two have to play. That's the motivation I was talking about. कि suddenly they may have a series with Zimbabwe, and because you are ODI captain, you don't have a choice. You have to play. विराट कोहली बोलेगा ठीक है जिम्बाब्वे के साथ खेलना पड़ेगा, तो आप क्या जिम्बाब्वे जाके खेलोगे? तो ये सब issues है, मैं बता रहा हूँ. It's not easy because they can't drop themselves off. The moment they say कि नहीं हम ये सीरीज नहीं खेलते, कैसे बोलोगे? आप तो एक ही फॉर्मेट खेल रहे हो. 2 फॉर्मेट में आप बोल सकते थे, यहाँ पे एक फॉर्मेट में नहीं बोलने के लिए आपके पास प्रॉब्लम होगा. सो आई थिंक देयर इज अ प्रॉब्लम. आई सिंसियरली फील रोहित फिटनेस की वजह से एंड विराट बैक ऑन, वो ये सब जितने ऑफ फील्ड प्रॉब्लम्स उसके पीछे है, नहीं खेल पाएगा. सो आई थिंक सेलेक्टर्स एंड ऑल दीज पीपल हैव टू स्टार्ट लुकिंग इनटू दीज थिंग्स, एंड दे हैव टू फाइंड only one thing is there, that Virat is fit enough to play the World Cup. He's still the best. तो अगर उससे बात करके उसको शराफत से पटा के रखें तो अच्छी बात है. रोहित आई डोंट थिंक विल प्ले. ही शुड लीव. ये जो सेल्फलेस है, ये सब जो पीआर वीआर बना के अच्छी तरह कि हम सेल्फलेस हैं, हम पहले से ही खेल रहे हैं, ये सब नहीं चलेगा. क्योंकि आप कैप्टन अभी क्यों बना रहना चाहते हो? गिल इज बिकम द कैप्टन एंड गिल परफॉर्म्स फॉर 6 months एंड विंस दोस होम सीरीज. इंग्लैंड का तो मैं बात ही नहीं कर रहा. विंस दोस होम सीरीज, व्हाई शुडंट ही बी द कैप्टन? यस, मतलब चलो स्काई का तो चलो समझ गया कि ओडीआई का नहीं है, हार्दिक पांड्या को बना दो कैप्टन. कैसे, मतलब सी दीज आर नॉट कमिंग टुगेदर, राइट? सो चलो देखते हैं, लेट्स सी हाउ इट गोज. बट even I seriously doubt whether they'll play the 27 World Cup. Let's see how. So one thing which can happen is the motivation can come in some time. मैं जो बोल रहा हूँ गलत भी हो सकता है, मतलब ऐसा. Yeah,
Rohit has won the last. Rohit has won the last 2 ICC trophies, so I think that's a major plus he has.
Point.
Okay, so I think he has won the last 2 ICC tournaments. India has just lost 1 game in the last 3 ICC tournaments.
Yeah.
So I think Rohit has been the captain in all 3 ICC tournaments, and he's just led brilliantly. Even in the T20 World Cup, which we lost in Australia, he still reached the semi-finals. India might not have played well. So 1 semi-finals, 1 finals, and 2 victories. So I think Rohit Sharma has got a great ICC record. So as a captain, so that will be something which will back him up. And he wants to play that World Cup. He has not won a ODI World Cup, mind you. So I think that's one thing that's really inspiring him. Yeah.
So let's join in for the next episode of IPL now. So thank you so much, and have a nice afternoon.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.